Hean Ba Klean.
Once again,
Yes.
yes, Brother Jeff, welcome and good morning to
Good
this
morning.
channel with me, Ilo SJ. I am your students. I
Yes.
am your foreman in East Timor. Happy to see you again.
Same here as always.
So, as you know, in East Timor, my English is still very bad, but now I'm
Greatly improved.
improve. And someone say I am blooming, so I'm happy.
Of
That's what
course.
people say, but I don't know.
Yes.
So in today's episode, I want us
Mm.
to talk about the living masses, the
Mm.
Jesuit call to serve beyond the comfort. So maybe you can just give a bit information about what is really masses in accordance to Saint Ignatius spirituality.
Yeah. Um, Being inside Ateneo or with the Jesuits or Jesuit apostolate, I guess we always use magis. So I just came from Japan for the GLP meeting, and magis is always there. The word itself is always there with us. It's already embedded in us. But sometimes the word magis being abused by people. Sometimes they misunderstood and misrepresent what magis is all about. Sometimes they complain a lot and they do many things at the detriment of their own health. So, and they said we're doing this for magis, but they're getting stressed and they tend to neglect their health as well. So for me, that's not really magis. So most of the time, we abuse the word magis. It became common. Once it became common, it became not really aligned to our own spirituality, like what you said of Saint Ignatius. So a real magis, or not, maybe it's not real, but the true magis is when you do more for the greater glory of God. That's why I always say you cannot really detach magis with AMDG. So if we do magis, it must be for the greater glory of God. Not for oneself, but for the greater glory of God. And once we do things with love, I guess that's what magis is. When we do out of love, when we give more, when we go beyond our comfort zone to do things because of love, of our love for others and for God. And for me, that's really what Ignatian magis is all about.
Well, brother, I think it's a well put. Some people still misunderstood and
Mm.
abuse masses as it is that I have to do more in
Mm.
order to please God or to please people.
People,
So,
yeah,
but the real masses is I am the gay for the greater glory of God. But at the
true.
same time, I have to, I mean, balance, no, my health and the mission and work.
Yes.
So
So here comes in discernment.
discernment.
So it's once we do magis, we presume that we have the capacity for discernment to discern where God is leading us, where our feeling in God is leading us to do for the greater glory of God.
So how brother, how can we distinguish or not distinguish, but how to put together masses and discernment in
Mm.
terms of in Ignatian spirituality?
Ah, okay. So I think magis and discernment must go hand in hand, and the end goal is really the AMDG or the for the greater glory of God. So when we do magis, I guess we must always ask ourselves if this is really what God asking me to do or leading me to do. Because there are many things in this world. We live in a very fast world. I've been here for 3 days already in Manila, as if I just arrived here in Manila because life is very fast. Because of our studies, because of our work, because of our apostolate, sometimes we don't really feel the time. It's very fast. And I think for us Jesuits in the novitiate and in our formation, we were really taught on doing discernment. So I hope with others, with our lay partners and collaborators, uh, maybe we can also imbibe the spirit and share our spirituality of discernment. And most of them, yes, they do practice discernment already. But it's good to remind often and to talk about this thing and to really make it part of our being already the discernment. So at first, when we're learning, we always stop, really devote our time for discernment, really structurally. But now, as an older Jesuit, or somewhat, I'm not sure if older, but I think I'm old already, it became a second nature of us, discernment. So it must come naturally, because we've been practicing it for how many years, that once we do things, we always ask the question, is this for the greater glory of God? Or is this for a selfish reason alone, or for any ulterior motive that we have? So discernment must come naturally once we imbibe the spirituality already. And when we do magis, for me, it's not always perfect. Sometimes we are being called really to really pray structurally, and in a way to really pray and to devote much time when we make important decisions.
So I remember that maybe I also misunderstand what Mazis is. That I have sometimes have a plan ahead that this is what I'm going to do, or in the present or in the future. So I devoted my time, all of my time, energy to it. But at some point I get tired. I feel tired, and then once I bring it to prayer, and then I feel like God is telling me that you
Yeah.
have to, I mean, slowly
Slow down and take time.
Take time. So
Yeah.
then I realized that Mazis prayer or Mazis discernment should be centered in prayer.
Yes.
So how, brother, how can it is necessary that someone should go through prayer while making a decision?
True. I guess discernment is really a prayer in itself. And I remember I just gave talk about the life of Saint Ignatius to our senior high school students, and I mentioned that when did Ignatius really learn how to discern? Remember when he was recuperating and while being injured, he was recuperating and he was reading the two books given to him. And then he started making discernment, he started praying, and the conversions started slowly. And then he visualized, he imagined himself being a knight and being with ladies and all. And temporarily, he was experiencing happiness. And he felt happiness, and in a way, he was really feeling good. But then sometimes he realized that feeling is fleeting, meaning it may be okay today, but tomorrow it's no longer para making you happy. And he realized when he gave something to people, when he served people, that feeling, that experience lingers. So I think that's the start of St. Ignatius' conversion and the experience of discernment. So I guess, yeah, we really need to pray and really see that, am I really, is this really feeling coming from God, or coming from just me, or coming from someone else or somewhere else? So I guess, yeah, you're correct. It must really be rooted in prayer.
Yeah, that's right. I think one thing is about the initiative is required in Ignatian spirituality. Of course, the initiative must be coming from us. Then we have to discern it
Yes.
through prayer that it is really what God desires me to do, or is just I who desires it.
Yes.
Because for my own fame or my glory. Because
Yeah.
Saint Ignatius before like that, diba? He's
Yes.
like I want to do many things just to please.
Yeah. True, true.
So, but at the end, prayer changed. So I think this is remind us that once we go through some certain difficulties, we have to go through prayer, because in prayer God tells us and He makes for us a good decision. So that
Yeah.
so brother, in what ways does community life help Jesuits to live the masses?
Yes. As a Jesuit, community life is really very important. You live together with your brothers, and you are not separated from the community. You are really in the community. And the role of The role of the community is, first, it gives us consolation when we work together towards common goal, common mission. Like me, myself, I'm working in Ateneo de Zamboanga. When I see Jesuits, fellow Jesuits, working into common mission in Zamboanga City, it gives me consolation. So it makes me happy, it makes me closer to my God. When Jesuits in the community support one another, for example, it is not just your mission or apostolate. So I'm the director of internationalization, but I don't work alone. So I have my fellow Jesuits with me, supporting me in any ways possible to really help the office. So it's not a one-man show. So you also involve other Jesuits into your apostolate. And number three, I guess the community can also give you feedback. So if you are doing good thing, of course they will support you. But if there are things that may not be aligned to our mission, the community can also give you feedback and tell you, oh Jeff, maybe this is too much. Maybe you may redirect or do things. So I'm happy that the community in Zamboanga City are, you can really feel the brotherly love, fraternal love in the community, and part of which is also to give feedback to your fellow brothers. So I'm happy that I get the consolation. I'm happy that I am edified by other Jesuits during their apostolate, and I'm also very edified that we help one another. And at the same time, I'm also happy that I get feedback from my brothers as well. Because this is not our mission, this is God's mission. This is God's mission. So we help one another to attain that mission.
So in a sense that we are just collaborators.
Collaborators.
So I don't own things. Of
Yes,
course, I assign
true.
to it, so I take
Yeah.
care of it, but I don't own the mission. So I have to
True.
work with my collaborate. We are
Yeah.
collaborate. This is the big team that
Yes.
for this the whole
True.
year that we have to consider that we
Yeah.
are collaborators. You know. Of course,
True.
many people said you are Jesuit, you own the school. I mean, you have
True.
beautiful buildings. You have
Yeah.
enjoy your lives. You go everywhere, but I know we are just collaborators.
True. And I remember with the new thing happening in the society, things are changing. Before, when I was young, it is us, the lay, are collaborating with the Jesuits. But now it is us Jesuits collaborating with the lay people, our lay collaborators and partners and in the mission, because the lay, they stay in the community long. Jesuits, we come and go. And yeah, parang we need to have a paradigm shift. At first, I'm really having hard time with that, but I guess that's the beauty and the grace that we receive, to recognize that we collaborate, and it entails humility, and it gives us humility as well. It's teaching us to be humble.
So, what does someone needs to, because when you work with others, as a collaborators or in the community, sometimes people reminds us, oh, this is, your decision is maybe it's not fit for this, and how someone like try to, because you have to also accept that
Yeah.
if we just focus on our ego, sometimes it can be very problematic. So how does someone needs to care about his personal behaviors or attitudes towards
Yeah.
God?
Yeah, that's the beauty of the spiritual exercises, the Ignatian retreat that we're taking. It's really part of which is really, or much of it, to teach us how to detach and let go, and to let God into our lives. And I think what we really need is humility. It's difficult for us to be,
That's right.
sometimes Jesuits, to be to be humble. We need humility. At the same time, with that humility, it will really teach us to listen, to be open, to open to criticism, open to feedback. Because sometimes, like what you said, our ego is taking over our thinking, but we need to really listen to others. There's really a need to be humble. And it's only when we are humble and open to change, open to receiving feedback, that we can really accept the feedback of other people.
So, in what ways does Mazis inspire creativity and adaptability
Mhm.
in the Jesuit ministry?
Yeah. Magis is really teaching us to be creative. Because if you are really creative, if you're doing magis, it entails more imagination, more love to do things, more initiatives, new things to do. And if it's already embedded in us, the spirit of magis and for the greater glory of God, it makes us more creative. It disposes us to be more creative. You mentioned earlier you are blooming. And as you know, I really had hard time when I was in Timor. The same thing with you when you come to the Philippines, you have to adjust to many things, different culture, different language, and everything is foreign to you. So I really had a hard time at first when I was in Timor. But then Amo Bert mentioned that you just have to bloom where you are planted. Wherever God brings you, diba, you just have to bloom. If you will just go there and say, oh, I don't like this, I don't like to do this, I hate that, I guess it will reflect also the way you give to people if you are not really happy on things. But I remember what Amobert said, you really have to bloom where you are planted. God called you to be here and then find beauty and find reasons why you are there. And once you have the reasons, it gives you more reasons to give uh, outside of yourself, obviously, to your apostolate and everything. And that's what happened to me. I think I really bloomed in Timor because I love being there. I've learned how to love Timor when I was there. And I guess that makes the parang the advice of Amobert a reality. Bloom where you are planted. When you are blooming, of course, there are many difficult things. Like I tried learning Tetun, but it was really difficult for me to learn Tetun and everything. And uh, every day we travel from Casa Gonzaga to ISJB to CSIL. If you see all things negative, so it will hinder you to be more creative because everything you see is negative. But if you see that as a chance for you to grow, chance for you to see the beauty in it, I guess it will make you more creative. So we always joke this in the Philippines, but it's not good. We say, he is my novices. If the novice master, parang gano'n, he is my novice master. He is my novices. And in Zamboanga, when people were mentioning, oh, Trosilio, Joao are there, I said, they are my candidates. But others would say, no, they are not your candidates because once you form and work with them, after that, you just have to leave them, right? They're on their own. But then, it's a joke thing na when the group of Novario, Felix came and Jonas was, I said, oh, we have two, Jonas and Jack is now in Loyola House, and they were mine candidates. And now I have 6 candidates. Uh, Sometimes it can be, the ego can work on that. You own things, you make it personal. I think the word I want is personal. In a ministry, in the things that we do, it will hinder us to do magis when we make it into a personal thing. This is mine, okay? Not only God's work, but mine. So I think detachment is really needed. So once we learn how to detach, how to be humble, and how to be open to listen to feedback and all, it will make us more creative and initiate more things for the greater glory of God. By the fruit, you will know uh, the magis, right? So I'm not sure. Life in Casa Gonzaga was difficult, but I'm happy that most of the candidates who were with me are already here in the Yola House. And Joao and Bonnie, they went back to Timor for Regency.
I think one thing I like what you mentioned about we have to bloom where you are,
Sent, yeah.
yeah, where we sent. So it means that Masis does not stop you to think, no?
True,
So
true.
because some people as you mentioned earlier, some can be misunderstood that doing greater things. Of course, we have to think more.
Yes.
Think more.
Sure.
Imagine more what to do. So as long as you put it in a way that for the greater glory of God,
Yeah.
so be it. So
Yes.
so and because you mentioned about by the fruit you will know the masses is. So I mean it's not everything that is blooming, but however I can see that why I am here now because there is something changed. So
True.
I believe that. So even I
Yeah.
can see myself, but
Changing.
changing is
Yeah.
always there. So therefore masses is really good for us that put in a balance, but it does not stop us to think, to initiate,
Yes.
the creative. So that
True.
creativity and fidelity is
Yes.
really needed.
Oh, you're ready for theology.
So brother, how can lay people also live as Jesuit in their own lives and the vocations in terms of masses?
Yeah. Um, I guess that the difference is just basically because of lifestyle, because for us Jesuits who are active in the ministry, we really have devoted time for prayer. And for me, when I go home by 6 o'clock, 5 o'clock to 6, I usually pray, and we have regular masses, we have regular recollections and all. But then for the lay, sometimes it's difficult for them to find time into prayer. So, but my advice is really to really make time for prayer. Even for a day, just to stop and leave everything and to be with God and to beg for God's blessing and to do examine, it will really change a lot. So it will really make a difference when we pray. So Jesuits and lay, but it will not hinder us to pray given that our busy schedule. So like for example, in your case, you're really studying. In my case, I really have to work. But it should not hinder us from praying and to really do our examen. So I guess my advice to our lay friends, partners, is to really devote time into prayer every day, if it's possible, given their time, to really just get in touch with God. Because now, sometimes I find myself, before sleeping, I do TikTok. Before sleeping, I remember in Casa Gonzaga, before sleeping, I just pray, even in my room. But now I said, now it's different. Parang I do TikTok before sleeping. So that's why discernment should be part of us. Reflection should be part of us. Just to reflect, oh nga no, before I used to pray, but now I'm doing TikTok, which is more important, prayer or TikTok? So I said, I really need to do the examen and pray. So that's it. We just have to keep on reflecting and prayer to make us a better person and closer to our God.
So, thank you for this
Thank you
conversation.
too.
This is a very wonderful conversation. Very rich experience, ideas, and knowledge about
Yeah.
Masisi. So really helps me and helps
Yes.
others who listens to our conversation. At least they pick up something for their, for their daily
Yeah.
experience and decisions that they are going to make in their lives. So once again, brother, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
And
Yes.
pray for one another.
Yeah. Will do.
So thank you, brother.
Pray for me as well.
Thank you. Brother.